I am optimistic, positive, and excited about chiropractic and reaching people with my practice, having influence in the community, and building an exceptional life of productivity and prosperity and generosity, while filled with love, fitness, and fun. My purpose is to become a smarter, more powerful, capable, driven, and superior version of myself by ever increasing my awareness, my knowledge, my wisdom, my understanding and motivation and hands-on skill, my communication skill, saying the right things at the right time, the right way, knowing what to say, when to say it. And of course, my mastering the art of having an exceptional life. So many examples of the exceptional life. It's my recommendation that all chiropractors, when they reach a certain level, should fly first class. For 100 reasons. You always look to see if you can get first class. I could do a whole training just on that alone. Sometimes it's not that much more. But it makes all the difference in the world when you're traveling. I realize if you're married and you got 4 kids, you may not be up in first class. But if you're doing something alone or maybe going as a couple, always look to see if you can be in first class. Take it from me. It's a much better experience. It's part of having an exceptional life. One example. Every single podcast with me, Tory the Chiropractor and Chiropractic Practice Success Consultant, hey, it's causing you to naturally attract great new patients, making you more capable at motivating and persuading people. You are empowered right now to make smarter, long-term decisions. And of course, you are right now energized physically, mentally, and financially. A quick law I just want to share for a few minutes before we get into an exciting new topic, one of my favorite topics. I haven't heard it termed this, but I want to call it this anyway. We'll call it the law of isness. It just is. You, yes, you listening to me, you go through life and you look at every single thing that happens and you judge it as good or bad. Well, I did this and it was good, and I did that and that was bad, and I got this which was good, and then that happened which was bad. You look at your past life. Oh, that happened way back when, and that was bad. And then this thing happened way back when, and that was good. And you apply good and bad to all these things in your life. Were they really good? And were the other things really bad? Are you interpreting them properly? Is it possible some things that you look back and you say were bad were actually good? Some things you look back on your life and say that was good, and they were actually bad in what they caused for your future? The answer is, of course, that's true. Your memory, as you have determined it to be by making these judgments, it really is a lie. Let me explain. I have to be brief because this would take a whiteboard in about an hour. But when you look back at your life, or even right now, or as you move forward through the corridor of time, everything in your past is equally good and equally bad. It just is. It's not positive or negative. It's both. But we somehow think we have the ability to assign positive or negative, or assign good or bad to things. Really think about this. Quick example. Guy grew up, 2 sisters, single mother, trying to work 2, sometimes 3 jobs. Dad left him, basically abandoned the family. He had to watch his mom struggle and cry and not be able to pay bills, send $5 to the dentist to try to keep the dentist happy so she could get her kids in for care. He had to work and help buy things for the family instead of buying things for himself like the other kids could. He flat out says if he were to see his dad today, he might actually kill him. All the pain, all the memories, all the struggle, all of what he had to see his sisters go through and not be able to do because they had no money, the pain that his mom had to go through. This guy developed an incredible work ethic, became a very, very successful attorney, the wonderful family well provided for. And as you visit with him a little bit, you say to the guy, well, because of what your dad did, isn't that what drove you to become as successful as you are today? Maybe you should actually thank your dad. What if his dad would have been around the house and made money, and he would have been a rich kid who sat around all day and never learned how to work and was 35 years old and still living at home? See, nothing is good or bad. Yeah, but what about this? Oh, there's extreme situations. The exceptions prove the rule. It just is. I want you to understand something here very quickly. We don't have time to develop it, but is it not a fascinating thing that chemistry and physics, they are both built into our language? Depression. Depress, ion. Ion? Positive ion? Negative ion? Isn't that like a chemistry and physics term? Depress, ion. We're depressing the positive thing and only looking at the negative. Depression. How about transmission? Transmit, ion. Transmit energy, positive or negative. Vacillation. Vacillate, ion. Going back and forth between positive and negative states. Look at all the words that have ion. Relationship, relate, ion. 2 people's energy fields relating to each other in a positive or negative way. Is this not unbelievable? Let me clue you in case you're fuzzy on this. There is a God. A supreme creator being. It is the originator of all fine language. Human mind could never think of something like this. What's my point as it relates to isness? When you're on mission, you're on a mission, missing ion. You're not hung up on the positive. You're not all hung up on the negative, because when you're all emotional toward the positive or you're all down and depressed on the negative, you're useless. You're ineffective. But when you're on mission, you're cool. You're steady. You see the good in things, you see the bad in things. Keeps you in the center line. And then and only then can you, kaboom, go to the next level. The quantum leap. The next level. Move up in the world. Up in what? Next level in or on what? Well, it's the quantum level of energy. And there are all levels for all people. And you want to move up the energy ladder, and you cannot do that by being fakely positive all the time, because not everything is positive. And you cannot do it by being down on everything all the time, because not everything is negative. We have to see that it just is. And when we see that, and we're on mission, and we're cool, and we're steady, and we react properly, boom, we explode into change, and we can go to the next level. There's a million examples of this. Your whole life is a litany of examples if you can just see them. Things that you look back at that you thought were good, but they made you arrogant and lazy. Really, were they good? Things you look back at that were bad, that hurt your feelings, but maybe that motivated you to become exceptional in a certain area. So was it really bad? We have to start to see the truth in things, and the truth is how it actually is. And there's a positive element and a negative element to things, and if we are cool and steady and we have control over our mind versus letting circumstances control what we think, which is what weak people do, then we can process information. We can make good decisions now and in the future. We can see the truth and react and perform properly in those moments and lead the victorious and exceptional life. I'd like to spend more time on that. I wish I could have you at a seminar or a boot camp, a training, and we could develop this and discuss it and take a look at your world and your life and the things you're hung up on that are holding you back. Well, it's all your fault because you decided to think those things about yeah, but you don't know what he did to me. Boo-hoo. You're the only person who ever had anything bad happen to you. Give me a break. Everybody has had their share of tragedy, loss, and pain, and certain amounts of joy and excitement. Yes, there can be a little more here, a little less there in those things, but everybody has their stuff. Don't you agree? But also, everybody has a chance to process that information and use it to become exceptional. One last quick story before we get into our topic today, which is just going to be incredible for you if you want to have a higher performance practice. I know you do. One of my heroes was a young boy. He went fishing with his parents in northern Iowa. He might have only been 8 or 10 years old. He had an older sister, 19 years old, who was staying at home for the weekend, and she was old enough, and the neighbors were notified that she would be at the home just for a day or two. They're getting ready to come back from their fishing trip. Call the house, no answer. Call the house to check on the daughter, no answer. Call the neighbor's house. Hey, why don't you run over there and see if she's home? They knock on the door. No answer. Look in the windows. Don't really see anything. And she's supposed to be there. The dad says, get into that house any way that you can. The neighbor basically shoulders the door, breaks it in. The 19-year-old girl was raped and murdered in the living room of their house. Unspeakable tragedy that still shakes that town to this day. There was a kid down the street that had come over. He was all goofed up on some head pills, Adderalls, Ritalins, whatever it was, and some alcohol, a beautiful combination. And he, quote, lost his mind. The young boy had a decision to make. And he made a decision. He moved into his sister's bedroom and he said to himself, I better be good enough at something. I better be entertaining enough at something that I can hold my parents and hold this family together. And sure enough, he did. And he ended up becoming one of the top 100 Olympians of all time. He became one of the winningest and most respected coaches that ever coached any sport. He has a huge bronze statue of him outside the big arena at the local university. Talking about the legendary wrestling coach and Olympian and dad and husband and son and brother, Dan Gable. You look up that story. He's standing on the podium winning his gold medal in a form that had never been done before or since. Complete domination in his sport. And he goes, I think about my sister. When he's with his family and his daughters, he goes, when I think things are a little bit tough, I think about my sister, and it puts things in perspective. He uses the loss of his sister to make his own life and everybody else's life around him as exceptional as he can. When he had every right to curl into a ball and cry for the rest of his life. It's simply information you can take and use to become better, to become more capable, to become more sharing and generous, to motivate you to work harder, to be more understanding, and lead the victorious life, and hopefully share with others enough so that they can lead a victorious life because of your influence. There's many more stories. I'm sure you have some. I'd love to hear your story. If you're not in the Winner's Edge group, you should be. And if you don't believe me, eventually you'll be forced to believe me. Because you're going to be 70, 75 years old, and you're going to need money. Lots and lots of it. Where else are you going to learn how to do that besides here? Through incredible service to thousands of people. All right, enough. Let's brighten things up. Let's brighten things up. Here we are. Clap. Rub the hands together. Crack the knuckles. I'm going to do a brief training to introduce what we're going to be talking about now, and I think we'll have some more on these in the future. We're talking about capacity blockages for the chiropractor. For you, what ends up limiting your capacity in a practice? Every single chiropractor has a limit they can get to before they hit their head on the ceiling of what is possible inside their office. There are a variety of capacity blockages. Now, there are three main ones I want to train on today, and I want to share with you. There are three things. Okay, and there'll be subcategories which I'll go over momentarily. The first capacity blockage comes in the form of the layout of the office. The layout, the positioning of the rooms, the door swings, the square footage, the space available for chairs, the hot seats, the front desk, the space behind the front desk, the ceiling heights, the light locations, everything. The layout of the office is the first thing that destroys the chiropractor's capacity. Now, of course, the chiropractor thinks they have room for more people, but they don't, because they're fooled, i.e., you are fooled. You think you have room for more people, but you probably don't. You think you do, and you're so fooled you will fight, you'll argue with me. Tory, there's times where there's nobody in here. I know. There will always be times like that. And that doesn't matter. That's not the measure. The measure is how many people you can see when everybody wants to come in at the same time. So it's the office layout. And of course, Tory, the architect wannabe in college, turned chiropractor instead. In fact, I've drawn 2 floor plans here today. I'm looking at one right now. Okay, here it is right here. I'll flash it on the screen for the YouTube viewers. There it is right there. Another Tory designed flow masterpiece. Okay, I just have too much experience in this area. In fact, I just had a couple of guys looking to start a practice. They just sent me their plan. I'll flash it up here for you also. Okay, I was just starting to draw on it, but it's such a disaster, I'm going to have to start from scratch. I make people try to draw a plan just so they can get a feel for it, and then I actually draw the thing they will actually be a flow masterpiece for them. So, first capacity blockage is in the actual layout of the office itself. Incorrect room positions, number of rooms, size of rooms, spacing of rooms, hallway size, ceiling heights, type of flooring. By the way, all chiropractic offices should have carpet. Never, under any circumstances, in any situation, should you have colored concrete, laminate, wood, tile. Never, ever, 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 ever. And I'm not even going to explain it because it's so obvious. Those other floors are slippery. They're impossible to keep clean. They feel cold. It's never as good as a really cool carpet, and that is in any climate, anywhere on earth. I could spend a lot more time on that, but I won't. But see, the modern person, I've got this cool wood floor. Yeah, it kind of looks cool, but it works worthlessly. Okay? You just don't want that. It does not function the way the floor needs to function, especially when you're standing all day long. You want to stand all day on a rock-hard floor? I don't think so. But there's 100 other things with offices, and obviously I could spend 50 hours on this. But next point is this. The next capacity blockage is you, the doctor, themselves. I'll get to some of the details on that in a second. And the next capacity blockage is the team. There's only 3 things holding the office back. It's the layout, it's the doctor, it's the team. Or it's 2 of the 3, or it's all of them. You might be thinking about what it might be for you. Sometimes we have a Winner's Edge designed office. The layout is perfect and capable of an easy 200 visits a day. We may even have a well-trained chiropractor, scripted, proper image, all the points I'm going to go over in just a quick second. But they got 1 CA, and the doctor needs 3. Get the right team in place, boom, we grow. You could even have a Winner's Edge designed office that's the thing of flowing beauty. You could have a couple great CAs that are ready to go. They're well trained. They're fast. They're accurate. They're excited. They're personable. Then you got a doctor who's slow and sloppy. Well, obviously the doctor is the problem, but they won't believe it's themselves because you can't smell your own bad breath. Your nose is 2 inches from your own mouth, and you can't smell your own bad breath. We could have a great chiropractor, a great team, poorly designed office because they bought a practice or whatever the case was. They inherited a crappy layout, and they're stuck, and nothing will change it because the layout controls the flow controls the volume, your volume controls your collections control everything in your life. They control what you eat, the car you drive, how fast you pay off debt, the house you live in, how fast you pay off the house, the vacations you take, the classes your kids get to go to. It hangs on money. Money gets underemphasized by design. The ruling elite who revolve around money want you to think money is evil, want you to think money is bad. Oh, there's more important things than money. Yes, health. We're not talking about those things. We're talking about a business, and business is simply another word for money. And it's okay to want to have money and be good with money and be generous with money. So we take it seriously. Love, health, career, money. All of those are number 1 in our book. So very quickly, the office, incorrect size space, the walls are in the wrong location, the doors are in the wrong location, the door swings are incorrect. The open spaces are the incorrect size with the incorrect number of chairs, the wrong chairs. Not enough equipment, the wrong equipment, mismatched equipment, all kinds of equipment problems. As it relates to space, once again, you can have the sight lines that are off. The flow is off because of it. The physics is off. It's called Bernoulli's equation. Remember that from physics? Where the velocity is high, the pressure is low. We need to be able to have high velocity in the office so it's graceful and fun to be there. When the velocity is low and the office can't move the people, the pressure is high, and nobody likes backed up traffic. And that's what happens in the chiropractor office. I have offices, as soon as I design their new plan and they move into it, boom, 100 visits a week. Boom, they grow $40,000 a month. Same chiropractor, same team, car that races faster. Of course, the chiropractor, we can have all kinds of things that are trouble. No scripting, poor image, weak training, treatment time is off for all the procedures. All the procedures aren't lined up right. Things aren't done in the right order. Philosophical weakness, weak drive, flat-out laziness, poor business skill, money handling, disorganization. Chiropractic is fine. Chiropractic is just waiting for you to be the right person and have the right team and have the right layout. And chiropractic will do the rest for you. Of course, the team, they could have the wrong hours, not enough team, weak team meeting, weak team huddles, weak planning, weak software training, weak billing procedures. Hours aren't right for them overall. They fall apart during the peak demand times. As soon as there's some pressure, it overloads their brain and they just short circuit, so you can't grow. You can only grow to the level of what your team can handle. You can only grow to the level of what your office can flow comfortably. And you can only grow to the level of what you can flow comfortably. So the way to test this is we do a huge patient appreciation day. Let's see if you can't get 200 or 300 people through there in one day. And in one day, you will see what the weakness is. You'll see what breaks. Oh, people are waiting for this. Yeah, weak layout, not enough equipment. Or the doctor's got everybody backed up. Yeah, the doctor's slow because their scripting is poor, their control is bad. They're philosophically weak. They're trying to talk people. They're trying to talk more to make up for their lack of hands-on skill. Team blows apart, overwhelmed, can't handle incoming phone calls, people coming, people going, so they blow apart at a certain level. We want to have that be a high level. So as we're going to head into a couple trainings here on capacity blockages, I have a whole list of different scenarios I want to share with you. DC is stuck at 100 bucks. Okay, DC has a new office with a great layout. A DC couple practices together. This DC is 60 years old. Been in the group for months. I've got a whole list here I have what we call the capacity growth blockage quiz. It's going to be incredible fun. You get to play consultant. We'll get to that next. But right now, for this particular training, what we have to understand is it just is. How's everything going? Oh, it's bad. As soon as I hear someone say that, well, they're just doing it to themselves because it just is. I don't have to be happy with something, but you have to see the opportunity and keep yourself cool and move ahead. Okay? You think in sports, oh, the other team just scored. I suppose I should be all down and depressed. Yeah, then you'll be useless when it's time for you to take the field and see if you can score. So you got to be cool. You got to be steady. It's just information that you have to use to make your decisions and take your future actions. Keep your mind prepared. And if you prepare for a bad day, you won't really have any bad days because you're mentally prepared. You can process it properly. You can be cool. We suffer in silence and we succeed in silence. Too many people today, are pounding their chest after doing something that's average. And too many people today are going, boo-hoo, look at me, I'm a victim, over nothing. The real winner, they suffer in silence. They don't try to bring attention to me so you can feel bad for me. And when they do something great, they don't tell anybody. Versus, look at me, I'm awesome. Sickening. But again, a lot of people don't want to get to the super high levels. What's the super high level? One single chiropractor collecting $200,000 a month in one office. That's the high level. If my office collected $200,000 in 2006, which it did, today in today's money, that's $300,000. You got chiropractors collecting $100,000 that all think they're awesome now, and they all click together and talk about how awesome each other is, when really they should get around and talk about how average they are and how much they all suck at everything. That's just the starting point. Got to see the reality there. Think I'm being harsh. You got to be harsh when people are wrong in their thinking, especially in the profession I've dedicated myself to. So I will be critical of chiropractors, and I want chiropractors to be critical of me. I've certainly had many critical of me. I've been put in my place many a time. We do not cheer. We do not celebrate for doing something that's average that we were just supposed to do anyway. We don't get down if we haven't done something we thought we should have done. We just got to be cool and steady and keep climbing up the mountain and getting better and better and better. That is the name of the game. So to summarize, it just is, we got to be cool and steady. No time to celebrate, no time to get down. We just got to stay the course and keep cranking and becoming as good as we can. And when it comes to capacity blockages, which we're going to be delving into more in upcoming trainings, it's either the office, or it's you, or it's the team. And our job is to figure out which one of those it is, fix all of them so you can explode into growth and prosperity and awesomeness so you can be more generous and continue to build that exceptional life. Tory out.